If proven to be true, which let's just say that at this point I wouldn't be too surprised if it is. This is completely insane. This is just crazy. Activision Blizzard sued over frat boy culture harassment. Video game giant Activision Blizzard Inc., maker of games including World of Warcraft and Diablo, fosters a frat boy culture. By the way, let me lower the music a little bit. It's a little bit on the loud side. Fosters a frat boy culture in which female employees are subjected to constant sexual harassment. Like, this part... constant sexual harassment, unequal pay, and retaliation. Retaliation for what? This is so... oh my god. According to a lawsuit filed by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. And see, the important part here is, this isn't like a he said, she said situation that we tend to see a lot on the internet, right? Because this happens a lot on the internet, like he said, she said, you know, this person did this person did that. You know, people do their twit longers and all of that stuff. We see that stuff day in, day out. This is an actual lawsuit that is happening. So this is no... Did I see the lawsuit itself? No. You got a link for that, Mioni? It's like, this is messed up. I haven't seen the lawsuit. I just saw this article. A 2-year investigation by the state agency found that the company discriminated... Okay, thank you. Let me just open this. We'll have a look at this in a second. 2-year investigation by the state agency found the company discriminated against female employees in terms and conditions of employment, including compensation, assignment, promotion, and termination. Company leadership consistently failed to take steps to prevent discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. According to the complaint filed Tuesday in the Los Angeles Superior Court, female employees make about 20% of the Activision workforce and are subjected to a pervasive frat boy workplace culture, including cube crawls. I had never heard of this thing before. Cube crawls, in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office. So, like, they're basically just upskirting. It's just upskirting. Like, this and often engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees. The agency alleges male employees play video games during the workday while delegating responsibilities to female employees. I'll tell you what, they definitely don't play World of Warcraft. They might be playing video games, but it ain't World of Warcraft. Engage in sexual banter and joke openly about rape, among other things. Female employees alleged being held back from promotions because of the possibility they might become pregnant. This one hits a little bit, I mean, it doesn't hit close to home for me, but as a father of 2 children, you know, it's like, I can imagine my wife working for a company where it's like, hey, you're pregnant? Get the fuck out. Can't work when you're pregnant. Being criticized for leaving to pick their children up from daycare. Here's another one. And getting kicked out of lactation rooms so male colleagues could use them for... Why would you want to go have a meeting in a lactation room? Like, because to me, this just like reeks of someone wanting to walk in on a woman breast pumping or something like that. That's what this reeks of. Like, you gonna tell me that Activision fucking Blizzard does not have enough meeting rooms You don't have enough meeting rooms? You don't have enough that you need to go into the lactation room where, you know, someone is breast pumping or maybe even breastfeeding, heaven forbid. Female employees working for the World of Warcraft team noted that male employees and supervisors would hit on them, make derogatory comments about rape, and otherwise engage in demeaning behavior. Well, we've definitely seen that there's a lot of people out there that once they get themselves into a position of power, like, hey man, send me your nudes, do this, do that. This is something that we've also kind of seen in the YouTube content creation sphere. There's like tons of, you know, large content creators that just engage in completely predatory behavior and, you know, engage in these weird power dynamics with their fan bases and whatnot, which is pretty fucked up. The suit also points to a female Activision employee who took her own life while on a company trip with her male supervisor. The employee had been subjected to intense sexual harassment prior to her death, including having nude photos passed around at a company holiday party. The agency seeks an injunction forcing the compliance with workplace protections as well as unpaid wages, pay adjustments, back pay, and lost wages and benefits for the female employees. We value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. There's no place in our company or industry or any industry for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind. A spokesperson for Blizzard said in a statement, "We take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims. In cases related to misconduct, action was taken to address the issue." Does not appear to be the case, as the lawsuit indicates. The DFE age includes distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the DFEH throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refuse to inform us what issues they perceived. Give me a second here. That was my wife telling me that she got the confirmation for our vaccinations tomorrow. The picture the DFEH paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today, the company said. Causes of action: employment discrimination because of sex, retaliation, failure to prevent discrimination, harassment, unequal pain, relief, compensatory damages, punitive damage, unpaid wages, injunctive relief, declaratory relief, equitable relief, prejudgment interest, attorney's fees, costs. So this is the actual lawsuit. I've never seen a lawsuit before. This is the first time looking at something like this, but particularly a lawsuit, an American lawsuit. So it's just sad, to be honest. I can't see Blizzard the same way anymore. I haven't been able to see Blizzard the same way anymore. Just as a fan of Blizzard, I haven't been able to see them the same way anymore for a while. And then this happens, is like, there's just no coming back. There's just no coming back. This is insane. Plaintiff, Department of Fair Employment and Housing. Okay, so this is like the description. Legalese, headquarters. Okay. Describing the plaintiff. Activision Blizzard conducts business through this is describing the, I don't know the proper term, but the person who's being accused. Here are their compensations and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Unlike its customer base of increasingly diverse players, defendants' workforce is only about 20% women. Its top leadership is also exclusively male and white. The CEO and president roles are now and have always been held by white men. Very few women ever reach top roles at the company. The women who do reach higher roles earn less salary, incentive pay, and total compensation than their male peers, as evidenced in defendants' own records. Similar disparities exist throughout the company. Claudina Nothan is earning $3 million versus her counterparts, which are earning like 12. That's a pretty big discrepancy. Chief People Officer. Like the executive ranks, women across the company are assigned to lower paid and lower opportunity levels. Female employees receive lower starting pay and also earn less than male employees for substantially similar work. Defendants promote women more slowly and terminate them more quickly than their male counterparts. Faced with such adverse terms and conditions of employment, many women have been forced to leave the company. Defense also far so prevents a fast frat boy. Workplace culture continues to thrive in the office. Women are subjected to cube crawls. Dude, this is so creepy. I can't even begin to imagine something like that. This is so fucking creepy. Cube crawls. In which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office and engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees. Male employees proudly come into work hangover, play video games long periods of time during their work while delegating their responsibilities to female employees, engage in banter about their sexual encounters, talk openly about female bodies, and joke about rape. Unsurprisingly, defendants' frat boy culture is breeding ground for harassment, discrimination against women. Female employees subjected to constant sexual harassment, including having to continually fend off unwanted sexual comments and advances by their male coworkers and supervisors, and being groped at the cube crawls and other company events. High-ranking executive creators engage in blatant sexual harassment without repercussions. In a particularly tragic example, a female employee committed suicide during a business trip with a male supervisor who had brought butt plugs and lubricant with him on the trip. Defendants continuously condone the quid pro quo and hostile work environment. The message is not lost on their employees. Numerous complaints about unlawful harassment, discrimination, and retaliation were made to defendants' human resources personnel and executives, including to Blizzard Entertainment President J. Allen Brack. But defendants failed to take effective remedial measures in response to these complaints. It's like, I constantly hear J. Allen Brack is just like this really nice guy. At least I've heard this before. And it's like, during the Blitzchung situation, he didn't do anything. He came out on stage and he goes on like, "Oh, you know, we're not proud of what happened with the situation. You deserve better. We're gonna fix it. It's gonna be different." It was like this big speech, and then in terms of action, nada, nickels, zero. Not even nickels, because nickels is actually a currency in the United States. Nickels is just like nickels, something that we say in Portuguese for nothing. But it's not even nickels, it was actually zero. Employees were further discouraged from complaining as human resource personnel were known to be close to alleged harassers. It's like, what is wrong with this fucking industry that this shit keeps happening everywhere? Because like, same thing happened at Ubisoft. And guess what? Almost nobody talks about it now, with the exception of like Jim Sterling. With the exception of Jim Sterling, I see almost no major media publication talk about the shit that happened with Ubisoft. So like, You guys look at this, and right now, everybody's like up in arms and stuff and all of that. And I guarantee to you, a year from now, most media publications, zero. Nobody's going to check whether or not this is still a problem. Nobody's going to check this call. Like, Blizzard might end up paying something, but nobody's going to keep checking on this. And yes, John Bain. John motherfucking Bain, dude. Rest in peace. Fucking hell. God knows what is happening in other industries other than gaming. Yeah, exactly. Media publications are mostly financed by gaming companies. They're not going to bite the hand that feeds them. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Then people go like, oh, why do people not trust these media publications? It's like, oh, maybe because it's all like one big incestuous relationship. An internal investigation into the Human Resource Unit noted that there was a big lack of trust and that human resources not held in high regard. Unsurprisingly, employee complaints were treated in a perfunctory and dismissive manner and not kept confidential. Dude, how are you gonna... As a result of these complaints, female employees were subjected to retaliation, of course, including but not limited to being deprived of work on projects and willingly transferred to different units and selected for layoffs. Plaintiff DFEH, an agency of the state of California, believes enforcement action against defendants in its prosecutorial role, seeking relief in the public interest for the state and defendants' female employees, the group, pursuant to the authority vested in DFEH under... Jesus, this is a lot of acronyms. Government Code Section 12900 seeks to remedy, prevent, and deter unlawful harassment, retaliation, discrimination. Specifically, violations pled herein include claims for sex discrimination in terms and condition of employment, including compensation, assignment, promotion, constructive discharge, termination. The problem is, like, after this thing comes to light, what are you going to do? Like, let's be real. Do people actually want to continue working here? It's disgusting. Safeguard opportunities of all purposes and unlawful discrimination. Okay, here they're citing like specific laws that, you know, Blizzard is breaking with their stuff. It is now and is at all times relevant to this complaint. Delaware Corporation and the laws of the state of California. The biggest question to me is, for how long has this been happening? Do they mention time frame? How long has this shit been going on? See you later, Star. So right, we're looking at the lawsuit filed against Blizzard. Yeah, there's a lawsuit. So this is a 2-year investigation. But probably this shit's... I mean, this didn't start 2 years ago. A culture like that doesn't get to the point that it's at in 2 years. Defendants have engaged and continue to perpetuate discriminatory practices regarding pay, assignment, promotion, and other terms and conditions of employment which negatively affect and impact female employees. These discriminatory practices began at hire when women were offered lower compensation and less lucrative job assignments and opportunities than their male counterparts. Defendants paid female employees significantly less in starting pay than their male counterparts at hire. This pattern or practice and violations were continuing. The pay disparity continued through employment for female employees. Defendants paid female employees significantly less than their male counterparts after hire. This pattern or practice and violations were continuing. Women were also afforded less stock and incentive pay opportunities. Female employees were overwhelmingly assigned into lower grades levels without stock and incentive pay. It's like, this goes very much fucking hell. Women are steered into the lower levels of defendants' hierarchy and often had to work harder and longer to earn equal promotional and other opportunities as their male counterparts. An example, female employee working for Blizz Entertainment was assigned to a lower level role, denied equal pay, and subsequently sought a promotion because she had been carrying out duties exceeding her job description. She was repeatedly told it was not her turn and others deserved the promotion ahead of her. Ultimately, the employee was promoted after 3 years, while a male counterpart was promoted in a year of his hire despite having started several months after her. Male counterpart was also assigned leadership responsibilities, which she was not afforded, responsibilities which furthered the male employee's ability to get promoted. There is definitely a culture there about the whole pregnancy and whatnot, which is just toxic working environments. Female employee who worked at Blizz Entertainment was assigned to a lower level than either play. Passed over for promotion despite multiple factors suggest she earned it. Highly rated performance reviews. She generated significantly more revenue in her marketing campaigns than her male counterpart. She ran almost twice as many campaigns as her male counterpart. Despite her accomplishments, her male counterpart was invited to have monthly or weekly one-on-one meetings with the vice president. She was not afforded these same opportunities and surprisingly was passed over for a promotion in favor of her male counterpart. See, this is disgusting because I'm big on companies always hiring and promoting the best person for the job, the person who works the hardest, the person who is basically the best at what they're doing. And in here, there's basically where they basically state she had highly rated performance reviews, I'm assuming more than her male counterpart, generated more revenue in her marketing campaigns, and ran almost twice as many campaigns as her male counterpart. Like, to me, if you have this data in human resources and you still promote someone who is less qualified, like, again, I don't care about gender, race. You promote the most qualified person. Always, 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 always. The most qualified person for the job gets the promotion, gets to advance. That's the way that I always look at it. And this is disgusting. This is just fucking disgusting. Actual misogyny. Similarly, other female employees at Blizz Entertainment were assigned to lower-level roles, denied equal pay, and further delayed or passed over for promotions in favor of male counterparts who lacked the same experience qualifications, but who were friends with the male head of the unit. Newly promoted male supervisor delegated his responsibility to his now female subordinates in favor of playing Call of Duty. Other male supervisors would refuse to communicate. Wait. Newly promoted male. Excuse me, can you do this report for me? I'm too busy getting a couple of headshots in Warzone right now. Female employees at Activision Publishing were also assigned lower level roles, equal pay, the later pass over promotions of their male counterparts. An example, female human resources employee at Activision Publishing was delayed and passed over for a promotion despite receiving positive performance reviews, doing substantial more work than her male counterpart, and taking over the actual responsibilities of the departing person. Female accounting employees at Activision Publishing likewise note that male counterparts are paid significantly more than them despite doing the same or less work and having less responsibilities. Yeah, it's because you can get pregnant. Female employees were also not promoted because of the defendant's discriminatory practices against pregnant female employees. Yep, like I was saying, a female employee working on one game team had assumed some of the responsibilities of the manager, but when she asked her male supervisor about being fairly paid for the work she was actually doing and promoted into that position, the manager commented that they would not risk promoting her as she might get pregnant and like being a mom too much. General female employees were further treated negatively due to their pregnancies. Supervisors ignored medical restrictions given to female employees and gave them negative evaluations while they were out on maternity leave. Other female employees reported that they were criticized for leaving to pick up their children from daycare while their male counterparts were playing video games, and female employees were kicked out of lactation rooms so employees could use the room for meetings. And then you wonder why we have such a fucked up generation of kids nowadays. Because their parents is like, this just goes into so many more things that I've spoken about, like our economic system, how it's a complete trash fire. Like most companies, particularly big companies, they're just in it for the short-term profit, which is why it's like stuff like maternity leave, that's long, stuff like employing mothers, that's a long-term investment because, you have to trust the person that actually works for you, that they are putting an honest effort towards doing their job, as opposed to just like, I have the excuse of taking care of my kids and whatnot and all of that. And it's just like, companies don't want to take that risk. And why? Because they just want to make money. We just want to make money. We just want the money. The money. It is... how there's this notion, I feel like, in the world where people seem to believe that if people aren't motivated by money, then most people would choose to do nothing. Like if they didn't have the drive of having to earn a living in order to survive, that people would just like sit in their homes and do nothing. I honestly don't believe that. I don't think that is the case at all. I think that being unburdened of the daily grind, being unburdened of that, would actually allow mankind as a whole to basically evolve to the next logical step, where people wouldn't have to constantly stress out about whether or not they're going to be making ends meet. But it's like that's such a much bigger discussion about my thoughts on the economic system and how it's basically so ridiculously outdated. Because like in all reality, and I know that a lot of people don't agree with me on this, and it's not something that I want to get into, but in all reality, we don't need money right now. The state of evolution that we are at as a species, we don't actually need money. We don't need money, and we would be better off if it didn't exist. But that's like a whole nother discussion, but this is like a big reason. A big reason why companies do this is because they're just interested in generating money. Just all about revenue. Just generate more revenue. Boom, boom, boom. There's no passion whatsoever about what they are doing. It's just, we just got to generate revenue. Just make more money. Money, 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 money. Women of color are particularly vulnerable targets of defendants' discriminatory practices. An African-American employee noted that it took her 2 years to be made into a permanent... Oh, so racism as well. Good. Add that to the lawsuit. It took her 2 years to be made into a permanent employee, while men hired after her were made permanent employees. She also was micromanaged that her male coworkers were known to be playing video games without any intervention by her supervisor, but her supervisor would call and check on her if she took a break to go on a walk. Another African-American employee who worked on information technology was similarly micromanaged by her manager, unlike the men on her team. When she requested time off work, her manager made her write a one-page summary of how... What?! Her manager made her write a one-page summary of how she would spend that time off of work when no one... Imagine you hey boss, I'm going on vacation. It's like, okay, I'm gonna need you to write me an essay on what exactly are you going to do during that vacation. The male supervisor also criticized her body language, despite male counterparts slouching in meetings, and she was scolded for asking for assistance while others would get help on similar tasks without the same criticism. These experiences led female employees to leave their employment with the defendants. As a result of these discriminatory pay, assignment, promotions, and other practices, the defendants' gender pay gap is significant. Defendants paid female employees significantly less in base pay and total compensation than their male counterparts. This pattern or practice and violations were continuing. When women complained to human resource personnel about the lack of equal employment opportunities, especially in comparison to their male counterparts, the complaints fell on deaf ears and were met with an empty promise to investigate the issue. Indeed, despite having retained Paul Hastings LLP and Miller Law Group to allegedly provide analysis related to compensation data, defendants failed to take effective and reasonable steps to prevent pay discrimination, as the pay disparity between male and female employees was not remedied and continued. As a result of these discriminatory practices, female employees were forced to leave their employment with defendants. For example, female employees noted that they accepted less compensation than they were making in their prior employment or offered by companies to work for defense. Yeah, this is the whole thing about it's prestigious to work at Blizzard. It's a prestigious thing. It used to be a prestigious thing. So you'd be like, yeah, I'll take a pay cut to work for Blizzard. Hell yeah, because of the passion. Dude, Blizzard monetized the crap out of passion for their products. It is insane. It is insane how much... Oh my god. So to be fully clear, are these allegations or evidenced findings? Saint Sadistic, this is the result of a 2-year investigation by the Department of... some department that is doing this lawsuit. So there's an investigation, and the findings are going to be presented in court, I would expect. It's prestigious, but only if you're a white and male. Definitely seems that way. Department of Employing and Housing. Yeah, exactly. There's an F in there as well. I don't know what the F stands for. I mean, I could scroll up, but I want to continue reading the rest of this. They accepted less compensation they were making in their prior employment or offered by other companies to work for defendants with the hollow promise that they would get promoted or get other forms of compensation to make up the difference. They never made up ground and instead had to watch male comparators were promoted more quickly and offered more compensation, forcing them to leave the company. Additionally, defendants terminated female employees more quickly than their male counterparts. This pattern of practice and violations were continuing. In some, defendants' discriminatory practices adversely affected women in compensation, assignment, promotion, and termination. Defendants failed to take effective steps to remedy or adequately correct its compensation disparities despite its awareness that such disparities existed. Defendants' discriminatory practice continued to the date of this complaint. female employees almost universally confirmed that working for the defendants was akin to working in a frat house, which invariably involved male employees drinking and subjecting female employees to sexual harassment with no repercussions. Cube crawls were common, and male employees would proudly come into work hungover. Male employees play video games during work, engage in banter about their sexual encounters, talk openly about female bodies, make numerous jokes about rape. Like, one thing that I'll say is that the state that World of Warcraft is in, I would almost say that not just male employees, but female employees and just employees in general in Blizzard need to play more video games, but they need to play the right video games to actually improve their video games. But it's like, if you're in the actual offices of Blizzard Entertainment, not Activision, Blizzard Entertainment, and you're playing fucking Call of Duty, that is worthless. You should be playing fucking World of Warcraft. That's your job. You should be playing World of Warcraft. And not just the males, the females too. All of them. The blacks, the Hispanics, everyone in the company should be allowed to play World of Warcraft. They should be encouraged to play World of Warcraft in their work. Not mandatory, Fane, but let people play World of Warcraft in their work, because that would actually be good, because then they would actually be able to provide feedback to the shit systems that Blizzard keeps sticking into World of Warcraft. Anyway, male employees would play video games during work, engage in banter during about their sexual encounters. I've never understood this either. Banter about sexual encounters. I could never see myself bragging about what I've done with my wife in the privacy of our bedroom. I've never understood this. Never. And growing up as a teenager, I always felt a little bit awkward. Now people will be like, oh man, we did this and we did that and we did the other thing. And I was like, feels like a violation of trust to me. But, whatever. It's not just, no, Ragnaros. It's not just an American thing. I can tell you it's not just an American thing. Don't even go there. No, dude. Nah. It is not just an American thing. No. No. It's part of the toxic mentality for men that sex is a prize, I assume even a prize worth bragging over. Anyway, talk openly about female bodies and make numerous jokes about rape. As a product of this frat boy culture, women were subjected to numerous sexual comments and advances, groping and unwanted physical touching, and other forms of harassment. Again, not a turn on. Not a turn on. Female employee noted that random male employees would approach her on the defendant's worksite and comment on her breasts. Female employees working for World of Warcraft team noted that male employees and supervisors would hit on them, make derogatory comments about rape, and otherwise engage in demeaning behavior. This behavior was known to supervisors and indeed encouraged by them, including a male supervisor openly encouraging a male subordinate to buy a prostitute to cure his bad mood. In a blatant example of the defendant's refusal to deal with the harasser because of his seniority position, Alex Afraziabi. Why does this sound familiar to me? The former senior creative director of World of Warcraft Blizzard Entertainment was permitted to engage in blatant sexual harassment with little to no repercussions. During a company event at an annual convention called BlizzCon, Afraziabi would hit on female employees, telling them, I imagine. telling them he wanted to marry them, attempting to kiss them, and putting his arms around them. This was in plain view of other male employees, including supervisors, who had to intervene and pull him off female employees. Afrasiabi was so known to engage in harassment of females that his suite was nicknamed the Crosby Suite. Afrasiabi would also call female derogatory names at company events. Afrasiabi's conduct was known to Blizz Entertainment as executive who took no official effective remedial measures. I would love to know the dates of this. Not that it's super relevant, but it's just for my own personal curiosity. J. Allen Brack, president of Blizz Entertainment, allegedly had multiple conversations with Afrasiabi about his drinking and that he had been too friendly towards female employees at company events, but gave Afrasiabi a slap on the wrist in response to these incidents. Subsequently, Afrasiabi continued to make unwanted advances towards female employees. Look, just some people are just fucked up in the head, okay? Some people are just fucked up in the head. And you got to get rid of them. You know, you gotta, like, look, dude, you gotta get the fuck out of here, and you gotta go fucking get some counseling, and you cannot work in an environment with female employees, you know? Maybe you need to go work at the fucking, like, whatchamacallit, like a male prison. There you go work there. Go harass them. I'm sure they're better equipped to deal with your advances. Continue to make unwanted advances toward female employees, including grabbing a female employee's hand and inviting her to his hotel room and groping another woman. A tragic example of the harassment that defendants allowed to fester in their offices. Female employee committed suicide while on a company trip. Yeah, we've talked about this one already. Due to a sexual relationship that she had been having with a male supervisor. The male supervisor was found by police to have brought a butt plug and lubricant on his business trip. Another employee confirmed that the deceased female employee may have been suffering from other sexual harassment at work prior to her death. Specifically at a holiday party before her death, male coworkers were alleged to be passing around a picture of the deceased's vagina. Problems of harassment discrimination extended to and at a minimum were known to those at the top. Defendant's former chief technology officer was observed by employees groping inebriated female employees at company events, was known for making hiring decisions based on female applicants' looks. An employee complained to Blizz Entertainment that employees were leaving due to sexual harassment and sexism. Specifically, this employee noted that women on the BattleNet team were subjected to disparaging comments. The environment was akin to working in a frat house, that the women who were not huge gamers or core gamers, not into the party scene, were excluded and treated as outsiders. Female employees had raised further complaints to various human resources personnel about the discrimination they faced, including but not limited to complaints about unfair pay and assignments, male coworkers belittling them or minimizing their contributions, and male counterparts being promoted quickly. Defendants' flawed policies and practices effectively continue to allow discrimination to occur in their workplace. The FEH incorporates realleges all previous allegations. Okay, this is just like a summary of everything that we talked about. I hope they get reamed. Let's get reamed. Considering what is said in this lawsuit, I'm assuming that the what's the name of this, Department of Fair Employment and Housing, I'm assuming that these people would only chase after this if they knew that they had they had sufficient proof. I don't think that, because, like, again, when you're in the culture nowadays, the Twitter culture that you have of, he said, she said, this is something we see all the time. If that was one of those cases, I'd be like, okay, if this has happened, it's fucked up, but, we don't have any proof. But when you're actually filing lawsuits, like, this is something that they probably have evidence. This is going to go to court, I'm assuming. And if this gets proven, like, fuck him, dude. Fuck him. Get sued into the fucking dirt. There you go. Bobby ain't getting his fucking fifth yacht, dude. Sorry. Dude, sorry, not sorry.